My beloved brothers and sisters, when you look back at the hardest moments of your life, you might not realize it yet, but those were the moments that shaped you. They changed the way you think, the way you pray, the way you see the world, and the way you see yourself. Struggles are not punishments. They are not signs that Allah is displeased with you. They are not proof that you are weak or unworthy. They are a form of training, a form of elevation, a form of purification. And sometimes they are the only thing strong enough to push you toward the version of yourself that Allah wants you to become. Every test you face carries a hidden message. You were created for something bigger, but you cannot rise to that level until you pass through the fire that burns away the fear inside you, the doubt inside you, the attachments that you never realized were holding you back. And so Allah, in His infinite mercy, allows certain hardships to come your way, not to break you, but to rebuild you. Think about it. If everything in your life was always smooth, always predictable, always easy, your heart would become lazy, your faith would become shallow, your gratitude would weaken, and your connection with Allah would slowly fade. Comfort makes us forget. Ease makes us careless, but Hardship wakes the soul. Hardship opens your eyes. Hardship forces you to remember the one who never leaves. There are moments when you feel like you're drowning, not because you're weak, but because the storm you're facing is preparing you for an ocean you were never ready to swim in before. Allah allows the waves to rise, not to drown you, but to teach you how to move with them, rise above them, and trust that the one who created water itself will never let you sink. Pain is not random. Tears are not useless. Anxiety, fear, loneliness, loss, these are not punishments. They are messages sent to refine you, to remind you of your dependence on Allah, to free you from the illusions of control, certainty, and perfection, to humble you in a world that loves pride, to detach you from people and things you held on to too tightly, and to pull you closer to the one whose closeness gives certainty, peace, and healing. If you pay attention, you will notice something profound. Every time you break, you come back stronger, not because of your own strength, but because Allah rebuilds you with qualities you did not have before. He gives you patience you never thought you could carry. He gives you wisdom you never imagined. He gives you compassion you never understood until you suffered yourself. Trials have a way of softening the heart, deepening the mind, and opening a door between you and Allah that comfort would never allow. Sometimes you feel like your life is falling apart, when in reality Allah is simply removing the parts that were never meant for you. He is clearing the path. He is protecting you from something that could destroy your peace, your faith, or your future. But because you can't see the full picture, you start to believe the lie that your suffering means you are forgotten. Yet this couldn't be further from the truth. The one closest to Allah is often the one who is tested the most. Not because Allah dislikes them, but because He wants to raise them to a level they could never reach on their own. What you are facing today is not the end of your story, it is the middle. The confusing, painful, difficult middle, but still the middle. The author of your story hasn't written the last page yet, and he never ends a chapter without purpose. You may not understand the wisdom behind everything happening in your life right now, but you can trust that the one who designed your path knows exactly what He is doing. So the next time life becomes heavy, remember this: strength does not come from ease. Growth does not come from comfort. Faith does not come from living a life free of struggles. Faith is born in the fire. Strength is built through patience. And the deepest connection with Allah comes from falling, crying, breaking, and still getting up to say, "My Lord, I trust you. Even when I don't understand, I trust you. You are not being punished, you are being prepared." And one day when you look back, you will thank Allah for every single hardship that built the person you are becoming today. There are moments in life where you stand in front of a closed door and wonder why it had to shut so painfully. You question your worth, your plans, your efforts. You begin to wonder whether you were being pushed away because you didn't deserve something or because you weren't good enough for it. But the truth is far gentler, far more beautiful. Sometimes Allah closes a door not to hurt you, but to redirect you towards something that your heart cannot yet see. A closed door is not always a rejection. It is often protection, and protection is a form of love. There are people you thought you would walk through life with forever, yet suddenly they drifted out of your life. You felt confused, abandoned, or betrayed. But if you look deeper, you will realize that some of those people would have damaged your peace later. Some of them would have drained your energy, weakened your faith, or kept you tied to versions of yourself that you were meant to outgrow. So Allah in His mercy removed them, not because they were always bad, but because their role in your story had finished. Holding on to them would have held you back from the next chapter meant for you. Heartbreak is one of the heaviest pains a human can experience. It shatters your expectations, your plans, and sometimes even your identity. But heartbreak is also one of the greatest teachers. Allah allows your heart to break so that you stop depending on fragile walls and start depending on Him. When He takes something from you, it is because He is preparing to replace it with something better. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the way you imagine, but always in a way that aligns with the goodness meant for your soul. What you lose is replaced with something more fitting, more pure, more lasting. Delays can be the most frustrating test. You pray, you plead, you work hard, and yet things don't happen when you think they should. You begin to wonder whether your dua is being ignored. But the delay itself is a sign that Allah has heard you. Because if what you are asking for arrived at the wrong time, it would harm you instead of benefiting you. Time is a divine filter. It removes what is harmful and delivers what is truly yours. Every delay carries a wisdom that you will one day look back on with gratitude, realizing that had things happened earlier, you would not have been prepared to handle them. Protection from the unseen is one of the greatest gifts from Allah. Sometimes you feel discomfort, uncertainty, or sudden changes because Allah is pulling you away from something that looks good on the outside but hides harm beneath the surface. How many times have you wished for something intensely only to later realize it would have ruined your peace, your stability, or your heart? You may not see the danger, but Allah does. And so He shields you in ways that seem confusing, but they are actually full of mercy. There are blessings that come disguised as hardships. Losing a job may feel like a collapse, but it might also be a doorway to a better career, a healthier environment, or a path that grows your faith. Losing a friend might feel painful, but it might free you from envy, negativity, gossip, or emotional drain. Failing at something might feel humiliating, but it might redirect you to a success that feels far more fulfilling and aligned with who you are meant to be. Sometimes the greatest blessings come wrapped in disappointment, and the greatest protection comes through delayed answers. You must trust that Allah sees what you cannot see. He knows what conversations happen behind your back. He knows the secrets hidden in people's hearts. He knows the consequences of paths you think you want. And He loves you too much to let you walk into something that would break you in ways you may never recover from. Life becomes much easier when you accept that not everything falling apart is a tragedy. Sometimes it is a rescue, sometimes it is a shift, sometimes it is preparation for something better than what you asked for. So when a door closes, don't stare at it for too long. Don't cling to what Allah removed. Don't chase what walked away. Trust that the one who loves you the most is guiding you to something far more beautiful. One day you will look back at every closed door, every heartbreak, every delayed dream, and you will thank Allah. You will realize that every no was a form of protection, every loss was a hidden blessing, and every delay was a step towards something more meaningful, more peaceful, and more perfectly aligned with your destiny. There is a moment in every believer's life when they finally realize that their story is not random, it is not a series of accidents, nor a collection of mistakes stitched together by fate. Your story is being written by the one who knows every detail of your past, every need of your present, and every possibility of your future. And when you understand that, truly understand it, your entire heart changes. You stop fearing what is coming. You stop crying over what is gone. You stop blaming yourself for things that were never meant to stay. You begin to trust that every page of your life, even the painful ones, are written with divine wisdom. When Allah writes your story, He writes it with perfect knowledge, knowledge of your weakness, your strengths, your capacity, your wounds, your dreams, and your hidden battles. He writes with mercy even when you feel pain. He writes with precision even when you feel lost. He writes with love even when you feel abandoned. And He writes with purpose even when you feel confused. Nothing you go through is meaningless. Every chapter has a reason, even if you don't see it yet. Sometimes you look at your life and all you can see are the parts that went wrong, the opportunities you missed, the people who left, the mistakes you made, the moments you wish you could erase. But what you forget is that Allah already knew those moments were going to happen. He knew which choices you would make, which heartbreaks you would face, which prayers you would cry out in the dark of the night, and still He allowed them. Because every event was necessary to shape your heart into something softer, wiser, and closer to Him. You may not realize it now, but the very moments that made you feel the weakest are the same moments that pushed you toward your real strength. The dua you whispered with brokenness is the dua that Allah loved the most. The tear you wiped quietly is the tear that raised you in rank. The moment you surrendered and said, Ya Allah, I can't do this alone, was the moment your story turned into something beautiful. Because Allah loves the hearts that turn back to Him. He loves the souls that return even after falling. He loves the believers who struggle with sincerity, even when no one sees their struggle. And this is why you must believe that whatever is coming next in your life will be better than what has passed. Not because you deserve it, not because you earned it, not because you did everything right, but because Allah is the one writing your destiny. He is the one arranging your future, shaping your path, and preparing blessings you haven't even dreamed of yet. When the next chapter arrives, you will understand why the previous one hurt so much. You will understand why certain people couldn't stay, why certain things didn't work out, why certain prayers were delayed. Allah never leaves a heart empty unless He is about to fill it. He never removes something unless He is planning to replace it with something better. Better for your faith, your peace, your growth, your happiness, and your akhir. And because you are still alive, because you are still breathing, because your heart is still beating, it means Allah is not done with you yet. There is more kindness written for you. More healing, more growth, more love from Him, more moments that will make you say, if only I had known, if only I had trusted earlier, if only I had understood that Allah's plan was always greater. You are not walking into the future alone. The one who wrote your journey is walking with you. He is protecting you from what you cannot see. He is guiding you toward what you cannot imagine. He is healing you in ways you do not feel yet. And He is preparing something ahead of you, so beautiful, so meaningful, and so perfectly timed, that you will forget the pain of the wait. There will come a day when you look back and everything will make sense. You will realize that not a single test was wasted. Not a single tear went unseen. Not a single prayer went unanswered. Some were answered with protection, some with patience, and some with something far better than what you asked for. This is why your heart must trust the one who has never failed you. Your story is still unfolding, and what is written for you next will be worth every moment you spent in hardship. You just have to hold on a little longer and trust the author of your destiny.